Summerslam.
Breathe the air where I stood at. Won't pop Advil, I deal with my headaches. Where am I the headaches? Go and play that back. Y'all rats and these cats ain't got time to go fetch.
Yeah, like I overall enjoyed NXT. Tonight at SummerSlam was a very big letdown, but I really enjoyed AJ Styles versus John Cena for the story it told, you know, in the WWE universe, hype going into it, and the actual story it told in ring.
Let me add, like, we won't go through those SummerSlam, but let me do a quick rundown of how I thought the show was.
Okay.
Um, I didn't watch any of the pre-show because I didn't realize it was gonna be 4 hours.
It was longer if you were there live.
But the I saw uh Enzo Amore, Big Cass, Jericho, Kevin Owens.
I missed that match because I was trying to get into the venue.
Well, really quick with that one, Jericho Owens, I think deserve to win that one just because they're the veterans of the match and they're workhorses,
Mm.
in the thing, in the whole thing and all that. And then the next match was Sasha Banks and Charlotte. Sasha Banks and Charlotte, I think they did pretty good. It was a shock ending. I wasn't really expecting Charlotte to win.
I thought this was a very botchy match. Did
They-
you not catch that?
Yeah, I saw the few botches that they did. And
Okay, there were a few, but I thought they all mattered when they happened.
yeah. And I think Charlotte, in my opinion, still needs a little work, but she's a good performer. She's a good wrestler.
Agreed. And Sasha Banks obviously is a good wrestler and performer. Um, I get very concerned with the way she willingly takes bumps. And now the
Yes.
rumor is that she's going to take some time off because of injuries
Yes.
that she has that have, compiled themselves. But you watch that match, and does she have like a gymnastic background that explains why she lets herself get contorted on the way she'll take a bump?
I have no clue. This woman bends in ways that a human being should not bend.
Like, last time we saw that was with Johnny Mundo's girl. What's her face? The one that messed
Melina?
around with Batista.
Melina?
Yes. When she would like kick herself in the face because you can contort her that way.
Yes.
And I was never comfortable with that. And maybe that's what Johnny Mundo wasn't comfortable with, but Batista was. That's why that happened. I don't know. I'm just saying.
We're not trying to say anything.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So, but watching this match with Sasha, you see her get hurt, and I kind of like, why are you in the ring? You look so delicate, and in comparison, AJ Lee would throw herself around.
Yes.
And I'd be like, that looked like it hurt.
Yes.
That looked like it hurt.
AJ would fall the same way as Sasha Banks would.
But AJ had such a shorter career, and Sasha's taking time off, and I wonder if those injuries are from her time before she got to WWE, or those are from injuries from her run in NXT, or maybe those are just from injuries from her WWE run. But regardless, I feel like it's kind of weird for her to take a break for these rumored injuries and to see her take the bumps the way she did in her match.
Yes.
I like her. I don't want to see her ruin herself and her career.
I don't want
because
it. I
of
don't want
pride.
her. Yeah, I don't want her career to be cut short like Daniel Bryan.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's that, I guess.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
But Charlotte won, shock ending. The reason why I want to just go through these real fast is because I really feel like the Brooklyn the NXT Brooklyn was bigger than this 4-hour pay-per-view. And
I think that the smaller card in NXT meant more
yes.
than the supposed bigger names, bigger hype. This is SummerSlam card.
Yeah. And I know you had The Miz against Apollo Crews, a.k.a. Apollo Creed, a.k.a. Uha and everything. He's got all kinds of AKAs. I guess they're going to give him all kinds
He
of
just
names.
doesn't have AKA winner,
But the Miz won.
as he probably should have.
Yeah, and then he
Now, Corey and I were talking about this. I'm worried for Apollo Crews. Is he going to be the first example of truly being sent back to NXT?
could. I mean, I think so. I think they were trying to. He was very popular in NXT, and I think they thought that that was going to carry over to the main roster, and clearly it's not because I don't think. This is the thing about it. NXT's audience is way different than main roster audience.
I'm sure, and I'm sure they're also a fraction of it, but I don't have the numbers.
Yes, but it's kind of crazy, and I think I agree with you. I think he might be going back to NXT maybe if they don't do something with his character.
Now, when we went there live, Corey, who spends more time watching NXT, pointed out that Apollo Crews seems to have lost his pyro steam.
Yeah, he used to have a little pyro going on.
So, that I think means more than people might pick up on because that is literally money that they are investing in you. And I don't know why SummerSlam, where you had the big stage and everyone's supposed to have special intros, didn't get what his normal thing is, or has the steam not been consistent since he came up?
I think it's just I think the steam has not been consistent since he came up. I think it's been ever since he came to the main roster, they hyped him, but they're not hyping him as much anymore, and so I think his character itself is having a big decline, and it's sad to see something like that.
No, especially because, again, Apollo Crews, Uha Nation, I saw 20 blocks away at the Brooklyn Lyceum Live. And it's crazy to see him at NXT Brooklyn, but at the same time, it's like everyone else who I've seen, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, live, you're not doing as well. And it doesn't make sense to me because you look more like what Vince wants.
Yes,
I don't know what the disconnect is there, but I'm worried for Apollo Crews. So,
aka Apollo Creed.
AKA loser. So, I, you know, I wish the best for him, but I don't. It felt like it wasn't good. The crowd wasn't active. No one cared, and that was surprising too because WWE has always been looking for a good-looking, physically impressive black guy,
Yes.
and Apollo Crews on paper should be that guy, but they're not connecting. When I was there, you have black kids in the audience who need role models, and I don't think there was one on this show because you didn't see Darren Young and you didn't see Titus O'Neil.
Yes.
And it just feels like Apollo Crews could easily be that. And it's weird. I don't know. Something's not right with that. And,
Yeah.
you know, honestly, let's just move on. AJ Styles versus John Cena.
This one right here, I was also excited about.
This is the match to be excited about.
This is the match I feel like should have closed the show.
I don't think it should have, but it arguably could have.
I mean, the thing about it is that AJ Styles, everybody know who AJ Styles is. If you're,
Which is surprising, I think, because if you live in the WWE bubble, who's this guy?
yeah, and everybody knows who John Cena is because he's just mainly been in WWE, but he's the face. And give it to John Cena. I mean, he's got limited move list and everything. Yes.
I'm a hater, but I can't deny that John Cena knows what he's doing in that ring.
Yes, and I think if you give somebody, if you give him somebody that can work with him, he can put on a good match. He did that with Kevin Owens. He did that with Sami Zayn. He did that with at the time CM Punk and all them. And you give him a guy at the caliber of AJ Styles. AJ Styles is on his own level.
AJ Styles is phenomenal.
Yes.
And I think he definitely brings John Cena up. And I'm not a fan of John Cena. I won't ever pretend to be.
No, neither am I.
as most people who think the way we do don't, think of John Cena, but there's definitely you can't say he sucks, so I can't chant that, but because
No,
he steps his game up when he needs to, and I think nowadays you can point out more very good John Cena matches than you can very bad John Cena matches.
yes, and it's that fact that I don't have to like him. I don't have to like his character. I don't like that. Anything like that. But I do respect him as an in-ring competitor. He's not the most technical wrestler in there. But you put him in there and
And he
he'll
doesn't
work his
have
ass
to be.
off. Yeah, you put him in there, he'll work his ass off.
Work his ass off, and there's something about his style that connects, and if it's him taking more moves than he gives out, the ones that he does give out matter. And they've done a very good job over the years making those few that he does throw out matter. Everything, his big moves, his five moves of doom that may arguably be seven or eight by now, everything, it's built around it. You can tell it's coming,
Yes.
and usually they're impactful. And when
Yes.
they're not, it matters that it wasn't.
AJ Styles, the way everybody he's arguably one of the best wrestlers to ever be wrestling ever.
Yes, he is by far in my top five favorite pro wrestlers of all time, and definitely, especially after the way that the past Lesnar match went, my hands down favorite current in ring wrestler.
Yes. And I think he sells everything. He doesn't have to dominate his wrestling moves. When he does, he's cocky about it because that's the character that he's portraying. But if he's getting his ass kicked like he was with John Cena in some of those moments, he's gonna sell it. And he could do that for you. He can develop you at the same time as he's developing himself.
Now, before this match began, they had the traditional WWE video package. And during this video package, I found out a lot about the feud because
Yes.
I've not been currently watching, but Styles talked a lot of trash.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was good trash. He spit hot garbage at John Cena, and in a good way. But and John Cena, he had his comebacks, and he had his overall aura, which is you're just another guy in John Cena's way. You're gonna talk your trash. You'll try to shoot, but at the end of it, John Cena's gonna beat you 1, 2, 3. And John Cena, I think, went into this match cocky
Yes.
and thinking that this would be the same way. But AJ went into this match cocky in his way, also thinking this is going to end the same way it always does with him winning.
Yes.
It was a very interesting dynamic. At least put it through that video package. And, coming out, AJ Styles, obviously the huge fan favorite. People wanted him to win. John Cena came out. You got his theme song sung but by the fans, which is great. Unfortunately, these people are singing John Cena sucks. So, not the probably best environment you want to go into
Yes.
against a guy who has held the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship and several accolades that John Cena will never accomplish in his career, despite all of the impressive things he has done.
I think the match overall was really good. They told the story really good in ring, and which it was really good. Um, at the end of it, I saw a frustrated John Cena. He couldn't put away AJ Styles. This is the same look that people would get about John Cena because John Cena would not give up. John
Now,
Cena. No, no, but go
this
ahead.
this moment you're talking about the facial expression, I know what you're talking about, and the way John Cena sells it, unfortunately, is cartoonish, as if he's a turtle who's just amazed by what's going on. And unfortunately, to me, I had this vision of him as a turtle, obviously taking it serious, but for whatever reason, John Cena was a turtle. And I think unfortunately his facial expressions can be so good, but there's always this weird disconnect, like right there, that I can kind of make fun of it. But I understood what he did because he kept with it, and it was just this awe. I've done it all. I've lived up to my motto. You know, never give up, never surrender. And here you are, this cocky little guy from the Ring of Honor, from the Total Nonstop Action, from the New Japan Pro Wrestling. But I'm John Cena, and I can't put you away. I take my FU, I bring it to the second level, the mid rope, I hit you with it, and it doesn't take you out. What are you?
Yeah, and
What?
this is what some people don't understand, that just who just recently seen AJ Styles, they don't know the history of AJ Styles, is that arguably AJ Styles is the veteran in this match. He wrestled before John Cena started wrestling,
I think
and
even if Cena started a year earlier, AJ in his career has done so much more. It's been such a more condensed career of going around, having more experience overall. So, regardless, I think AJ is definitely the veteran.
yes, and I was excited to see Styles clash. He hit it. He didn't go for the pin. Got back up. Went outside and did his flying forearm, and he pinned John Cena in the middle of the ring clean. Which at Money in the Bank, he won, and he beat John Cena, but he had the help of Gallows and Anderson, and I think that was weighing in on him about people saying you didn't beat John Cena clean or anything like that. I'm happy that he did it on his own, and he showed people that yes, I can work with the best that you have in this company. Now I showed you that I'm the best now.
I'm very excited for SmackDown over the next few weeks, even though I probably won't watch it. But I'll try to go out of my way to see these segments with AJ because I want to know what AJ does on SmackDown after he vanquishes John Cena. John Cena has his second season of that Fox show to go compete. So I guess the logical be John Cena just needed to recoup mentally, took some
Yeah,
time off. In the meanwhile, AJ Styles, the not hothead, but the arrogant guy that he is, went a little crazy and took over SmackDown. And the return John Cena has to see if he can beat AJ, and I hope he can.
yeah.
But we'll get there, and I'm excited. It's very interesting, and I'm excited to find out what happens, or for having you text me or call me and let me know, like, hey, you should probably go out of your way and watch this.
Yes.
So
And
the next match, continuing with the Bullet Club theme, Luke
oh,
Gallows
the
and
Luke
Carl
Gallows,
Anderson.
and with the New Day, which I really wish that they would have won the tag team championships, and I really wish that Jon Stewart was not a part of this.
Now, I don't understand this John Stewart hate. Are you not a fan?
I mean, I'm a fan of Jon Stewart. Don't get me wrong, I
But the
am.
people live were not fans of John Stewart.
Yeah, I
Did
don't
it come
know.
off on TV?
It came off on TV like that. It's just that I'm a fan of Jon Stewart. I like with him being the Daily Show and everything, and his opinions and all that.
Have you been watching current Daily Show?
Yes.
What do you think?
It's been okay. I'll give it an okay.
All right, well, here's my question to you. When Jon Stewart came out, when there was a silent moment, I chanted out, "Save us from Trevor." Would you help me on that chant?
I would have helped you on that one.
Because it seemed like people didn't know what I was talking about, which made me think, "Oh God, none of you are watching."
Yeah, Jon Stewart. I think he's good at what he was doing with the Daily Show. I understand that he wanted to not leave it, but it's time to move on. And but as far as in this sense of a title match between two teams and stuff like that, I don't see where he fit in with it. I know that he was supposed to be like the guest appearance guy and everything for the WWE and everything, but why with a tag team championship match at one of the biggest shows of the year?
Because he is a star, and WWE loves stars. Now, let me ask you a question. What's actually going on with Big E? Did he come? Now, okay, honestly, when this match happened, me and my nephew went to get food, and then we got screwed over because they ran out of food. So they had to cook new versions of it, and it took forever. And then the
Yes.
French fries took forever. So I missed this whole thing. Did Big E come back?
Yes, Biggie came back at the end of the match because they were gonna, you know how they did the the split leg,
Yeah. The
yeah,
ball tape thing.
yeah, and they were gonna do that to John Stewart, and they almost did it to John Stewart, and that's when Biggie came out and saved John Stewart, and they uh. See, I don't get this whole Freebirds rule match or Freebirds rules that they were supposed to bring back, where three members can defend the tag team titles at the same time. But I don't know if they're still doing that or not.
Well,
But
my understanding of the free bird rules was that it wasn't that three men could defend it at any time, but of a unit of three, any two could defend it at any time.
yes, but Biggie came out. Match was ruled as a disqualification and everything, and Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson won by disqualification.
I didn't
Uh,
even know that.
yes, and then you just had the celebration of Biggie's back, which went over really good with the crowd. Everybody was happy to see Biggie, and it was pretty good. I thought the ending was pretty good. The I don't know. I thought it could have been better for Gallows and Anderson, but maybe it will be later on.
All right, good. I'm not really a fan of the ball jokes, egg jokes, nut jokes that the club have been doing, but at least Doc gets to be called Doc Gallows again.
Yes,
So
Doctor.
if that doctor, phenomenal doctor. I won't lie, I love that, and I wish that they could add Demon King. But
Oh,
I guess Devitt's too good for the Bullet Club.
what'd you think of that?
I loved it, dude. When that happened live, like I'm so happy that the people around me knew what was going on. Because
Yes.
first it started with Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, because that's his name now.
Yes.
So they're doing their stupid ball egg promo that I don't give a crap about. But AJ comes in, and they too sweet each other right away. And I was like, thank God the club exists. So they do their spiel and everything, and it's great because you haven't seen in a while because of the brand split, because the brand split should matter. So all this was really good as a fan who likes Logic. And then all of a sudden, Prince Devitt, Finn Balor comes in, and everyone, the three of them, like, oh, nice, our buddy. They all put the two sweet up, and they're like, oh, come on, do it. And almost like in a glorious bomb way, he acknowledges it, but he won't do it.
Yes.
And he leaves. They all take a chuckle for maybe a second, and then say, he didn't matter anyway, and they enjoy themselves. But I was disappointed. I want that connection to be made, and I want that connection to matter.
Yes.
But what I'm willing to accept is a possibility that AJ, the current leader of the club, because Devitt, Finn Balor left the club to become, pursue his NXT, WWE, Raw, Universal Championship opportunities, because he definitely made out better on this deal.
Yes.
Decided to leave, and I'm willing for the club to be like, oh, hey, we're willing to accept you back in. You don't want to, that's cool. But maybe you don't win that match because Doc and I got involved.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that's what this leads to. I'm hoping that now the Universal Champion has a complicated history, and he wants to be a good guy and do what he can and hopefully keep the Demon King at bay. But he's got these 2 to 3 to maybe they'll add more idiots on the side who they just want to be too sweeted, and you won't give in for whatever reason. And now they're causing you problems.
I'm pretty sure that we'll see that. That sounds like it's something that would happen. I would love to see Balor against AJ Styles.
Do you want a title on the way, or do you want it to be for like Bullet Club ownership, or I'm trying to do my thing. Stop bringing the past. I handed it to you. I thought the understanding was you do you.
I
I'll do my
think
best.
I can see AJ Styles, the current character that he has, the way he was laying in on John Cena. I could see him do that to Balor, saying, "You left these guys, and you're a loser. You don't know what you're doing, and stuff like that." And I could see AJ Styles laying in on him about that.
Where do you think Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, feel about this?
I think they will go with AJ Styles, but I think there could be a room for a swerve at any time.
Now, in the world of the Bullet Club, which encompasses several wrestling promotions, so if you know what's going on, that's pretty cool because you're a fan. Um, the Young Bucks, their contracts are coming up with Ring of Honor at the end of the year, and I probably the New Japan one as well.
Yes.
What I'm hoping for is that maybe Finn Balor gets Doc and Carl to side with him, and AJ says that's fine. You guys are on Raw. You do your thing. I'm here on SmackDown. I'm gonna have a party, a super kick party,
Yes.
and maybe you get two versions of the club on different brands, and maybe that builds to something.
I could see them doing that and then feuding with each other, but then all of a sudden they're just all like, you know what? We come from the same brand and everything. Let's just get together and take over WWE and make everybody's life a living hell.
I would love that, but I don't know how you do it with separate brands unless they just. I don't care who the general manager is. I don't care who the COO is, and they just start taking people out and maybe bring in more members. But there's it's so great that within this pro wrestling thing, if you go beyond WWE, beyond this limited little universes that these people, these individual companies try to create, that there's an overall story, and if you're paying attention, it can pay off a lot. And if you're not paying attention and stuff does pay off, and you feel like, oh, I'm upset because I didn't know everything going in, that's on you. Why aren't you watching everything? Why aren't you giving things a shot?
Exactly. I agree with that. I agree with what you're saying there.
Good, because we'd have an issue if you did.
All right, let's move on real fast. Yeah,
Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler, which
yeah,
should be an important match, but you said let's gloss over it, and I don't disagree with you because they didn't show this match any real respect. So why should we?
yeah. I mean, it was uneventful. That's all I gotta say about that one.
Which is surprising because this should matter.
It should, because it's for the WWE title, the number one title.
Red, is Dolph getting punished because he's not good?
I don't think he's getting punished because he's not good. I think recent comments that he keeps making all the time about how he's being treated is hurting him.
All right. Well, is Dean being punished because he didn't have a good interview with Stone Cold?
I think he is being punished just because he's not how a WWE champion should be or should look. I think it's his
So
look.
why are we being punished?
Exactly.
All right, because this match it's for an established WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I don't understand why it's going before a random women's match, which now is more important than if I had set a random divas match because that's the year we live in.
Yes.
But it also is less important than the creation of a random belt, and it's also less important than the United States Championship.
Yes. Because you got everybody was wondering why the United States Championship match was before the main event.
We will get to that because that is an issue. But Dean Ambrose, WWE champion, successfully defended his championship against Dolph Ziggler, the same guy who was the Colonel in a long video promo against a KFC chicken.
I didn't. I didn't.
By the Miz.
I didn't understand that.
What I got from this was that the Colonel doesn't like chicken, and his business isn't really built upon giving the best delicious tasting chicken to his customers, like me and you, but more just kicking them in the face.
You know
And
what? It kind of had that Peter Griffin against the chicken vibe to it.
I wish it went that crazy. And you know what? Maybe they'll run with it.
Hopefully, but that was one that just came up, and I was just like, "What am I watching?" I'm just,
So
I don't know.
I agree with you. And Dean Ambrose won. Good. It would have been weird if he didn't. Everyone around me thought Bray Wyatt was going to get involved. Was it building up to that, or was it?
Well, Bray Wyatt's been feuding with both of them for the last week, and I don't know why they wouldn't use Bray Wyatt. Honestly, I know that Dolph Ziggler won a match for to go against Dean Ambrose. I would have rather see Dean Ambrose against Bray Wyatt. I'm a big Bray Wyatt fan. That's why.
I like Bray Wyatt. I like his promos, but unfortunately, he doesn't win.
Yeah, but he's a good worker though. He's a good wrestler for a big guy like the big stature that he is. He can work.
All right, so that's probably next month, 2 3 months from now, the feud for Dean Ambrose, which I assume he'd win because I feel like Dean Ambrose didn't have, I guess, great chemistry with Stone Cold, but he is his own character. He's interesting, and I don't know who else you're gonna build SmackDown around.
Exactly. But I don't know. It's one of those things that you gotta toss up.
All right, well, it's not a toss up the next match because it's definitely more important than the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It's Nikki Bella, the returning
Oh
Nikki
God.
Bella, and Natalia and Alexis Bliss. And Alexa Bliss took on Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Carmella because this is more important than WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You understand this, right?
You know what? They tried to do the Divas Revolution. You got a match like with Sasha Banks and Charlotte, which did have its botches, but they wrestled.
Yes.
I don't understand this. This is kind of a throwback to when they used to just put a filler match of women in a match, in a tag team match, mixed tag team match like this. This is like a throwback, and it was just one of those to where I was not interested in. Even with the whole Nikki Bella coming back, I wasn't even like impressed or anything.
Well, the crowd went crazy when Nikki Bella came back, and I don't understand why. Maybe because I don't watch Total Divas. Maybe it's my fault. I don't get what's going on in her life, and whatever was going on.
I
But
don't I don't like the divas, the Bella twins at all. Um, Not even Nikki Bella. I was happy when AJ used to be in WWE. She did her pipe bomb about them, and it was true about them. It's like AJ was all like, I fought my way to the top to win the title and everything, while I didn't sleep with the top two guys in the company and everything to get to where she's at.
I feel like this match, it usually would be placed before the main event so people would have an opportunity to go to the bathroom. And that's honestly what this match is and was, and I don't understand why this was more important than, you know, Charlotte versus Sasha. Realistically, this should have been a way earlier match, a pre-show match, just not a match that should have been important.
I think you have because I know that they had a pre-show match with American Alpha, Usos, and Hype Bros against Brazongo, the Ascension of Von Villains. I think I would rather see that on the card and then move that match to the pre-show.
Unfortunately, that isn't the world that we live in. So the card happened the way it did. And I think it was a mistake.
Yes.
All right, so next match, Finn Balor, which I was excited to see Prince Devitt the way I know him, and I'm sure I accidentally called him. And I don't mean disrespect by that. It's just the way I'm used to.
No, everybody
thing.
gotta understand that people still call him Devitt.
Okay, just I'm sure I did it, and I don't mean I disrespect because people believe, hey, you got to respect the new name, but I'm not there yet.
If you're a fan of him before he came into WWE, you call him whatever you want.
All right, good. At least you give me the credit because people around me kind of gave me I'll look and I'm like, hey, you don't deserve that probably. Because let's go on facts and wrestling and see where you're at.
Before we get into that one, I want to ask you a question. When they presented the belt, the new
Oh,
Universal belt, I think I
oh.
heard a chant of "This belt sucks" or "That belt sucks."
There was chance of this belt sucks,
Yes.
that belt sucks, throw it out, um, delete, which was crazy. That a TNA chant by crazy Broken Matt Hardy in reference to, I guess, things he doesn't like, he just swipes right and gets rid of them. People were swiping right, get rid of this belt. And I can't believe they went with it. I mean, the rumors I heard on the new belt was that it was going to be the same exact one that SmackDown had. At most, it would be this red monstrosity that we saw, but the minimum would be that Raw would have a red line underneath it, theirs for the WWE logo, and just SmackDown would have a blue one. But instead, they gave us this just ridiculously ugly title, and their title championships now have been focused more on the brand, and it's all about their logo, and it has nothing to do with telling you that this is a world heavyweight or world championship. It's just about these crazy W's made out of diamonds that make no sense.
Makes no sense at all. They just changed the like. I was watching the event with my dad because he likes to, he's a big wrestling fan also. And once they unveiled it, like how it looked and everything, he's like, "The hell is that?" And I was looking at like on comments and stuff like that, like what other people were talking about it. And one of them was, "Oh, they just put gold on a piece of cloth that was from, or a piece of tampon that was from Stephanie McMahon's period blood and everything." And it's just like, oh my god, this is the people are just going in on this belt.
Yeah, the crowd was not liking this belt. People were clearly upset talking to one each other. Everyone was taking jokes. It's crazy when people hate something so much that they're so vocal about it that their neighbors that, they spent 4 or 5 hours next to someone, didn't say a word, but then they're like, I hate that belt. And then someone next one was like, I also hate that belt. And then all of a sudden people are talking to each other and they're like, that's a dumb belt. They should have done this. They should have done that. Unfortunately, WWE, their dumb efforts brought people together to hate them. And people got organized. And you had these crazy chants that Seth Rollins ultimately got mad at Brooklyn for chanting halfway into their match about how displeased they were.
Yes, I think the
Uh,
I think
I
the
don't like
match
the belt.
is
If
yeah,
it's not obvious, I do not like that belt.
the match itself was really good. The belt itself, eh, eh, eh. The KFC, the KFC chicken and kernel and everything was more deserving of that belt.
What'd you think of that KFC thing?
I was still sitting there. I was like, "What the hell am I watching?"
I know I screamed out loud, what am I watching?
But I don't know. Universal Championship. I understand that Raw needs a championship. At least make it different than the current WWE Championship belt, and at least bring back the old World Heavyweight Championship.
I honestly, my favorite belt. Now, let me ask you also, what is your favorite belt?
My favorite belt. Um, I would have to say it is between the old WWE belt, the WWF belt during
The
when
Winged Eagle?
yes, when Bret Hart and Shawn
Sean.
Michaels was going for it.
A very popular choice.
Yes, and then also the old WCW belt, which is the World Heavyweight Championship.
The big gold belt.
Yes.
I like the big gold belt more than the Winged Eagle. My favorite belt was the Undisputed Championship version 2, and they added a little bit of black around the edges, but mostly worn by Brock Lesnar, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt
Yes.
Angle, the guys of that time. That is my hands down favorite belt. I actually have a version of the first one when I was a kid. I was lucky to get that for my birthday gift. It's one of my honestly treasured possessions. And now, as an adult with money, I feel like I should get a version 2 good one And I think I'm going to do that next year for my birthday. Spoil myself.
Version 1, Matt Hardy.
V1. Did you know Matt Hardy doesn't like to diet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Matt Hardy fact. One of my favorite ones. Because, even he understood that the importance of winning the Cruiserweight Championship.
Yes. I don't know.
I had fun. All right, so that belt is ugly, and the new WWE Universal title is ugly. It looks just like the SmackDown version, but for whatever reason, they put on a red leather that just, I don't know.
God
People made
awful.
fun of it. It's
Yeah.
horrible, god awful, just like you said. And the crowd chanted several times against it, probably taking a big part away from the actual match itself. And when I want to say Devitt
Go for it.
Balor, when Balor won, he didn't raise the championship. He raised his finger, number one. And prior to that, whenever they would try to do close-up shots, when everyone was near the belt, they had to hide it because everyone was so anti that belt. It sucks that Devitt, his big moment was kind of ruined by the decision of management to have such an ugly belt that they're gonna have to rewrite history or try their hardest tomorrow on Raw to be like, yeah, you love this belt. You love this belt. Just admit it. You love the belt, right?
Nah.
Well, hopefully the crowd reaction will be way more uh, against it, and tomorrow on Raw will honestly be an interesting show to see how the crowd reacts to certain things, and the new recently 2-year thing of post SummerSlam debuts.
Hopefully they do it like WrestleMania, post WrestleMania debuts. Um, we'll see what happens. I'm kind of interested in seeing what happens on Raw and SmackDown.
Um, as am I. But okay, let's finish with Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. You have anything else to say about the match?
Pretty good match. Happy that Finn Balor got it. He deserves it, but he deserves a better looking belt.
Agreed. In the clearly more important match than the first time that a championship is crowned is Rusev for the he's the current Intercontinental Champion,
United States champion.
United States Champion, because secondary titles matter. Took
But
on Roman Reigns.
match didn't start. Rusev attacked Roman Reigns at the beginning. No bell was rung, and it all ended with no, Rusev cannot compete because he possibly will have broken ribs, as in kayfabe or whatever. And Roman Reigns kicked the shit out of him, which I don't really get the whole character of Rusev. I really want to see Rusev be a dominant character, but for some reason they keep putting him in characters where his wife has more balls than he does.
Huh. Oh, wow. Okay. So I honestly thought that Rusev is a good guy for defending his wife. But
No,
this,
he's a good guy for defending his wife. It's just that they keep putting him in stories to where his wife looks like she's more man than he is.
I don't think so. I like to think that it's just Rusev can't speak English. And his wife can.
Yeah, his wife can, but it's just like they keep putting him in situations to where it's like, let him be dominant. Let him kick someone's ass. Let him be a Samoa Joe of the main roster for a little bit.
You're not wrong. I think he's been that at times. He's not like that enough. So I agree.
Yes. But overall, Roman Reigns is going to be Roman Reigns, and Rusev, I just hope they just used him better like a dominant force.
Agreed. Rusev, I think, should not be in these positions to look bad against Roman Reigns. I don't understand who the face is in this, who the heel is going into tomorrow. Hopefully they'll fix it. Corey thought that this was a double turn. I didn't think so because I don't think that WWE thinks their audience is smart enough to understand that. And I
Right.
think that's a big difference between the mentality of WWE versus the mentality of NXT. NXT, if you pay attention week to week because it's written that way, things pay off, and it helps to be a active viewer and an active talker to people who you like or listener of podcasts that you like.
Yes.
So this match was weird because now in a world, maybe this should be another game. If this were real, why did this match go on at the spot it did?
I have no clue on that one. I don't see this is if it's for United States Championship. I really think this would have been in the earlier part of the show.
I say trade it for Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler.
Yes,
If only because at least Dean's belt is established opposed to the new one that Finn and Seth fought over.
that is true, and I don't know. I don't see how they did really bad position like card positioning with this one,
It
and
was such a weird, honestly, such a weird show.
yeah,
And I told my nephew, who was actually concerned, that hey, if the next match is Brock versus Randy and the main event is Rusev versus Reigns, we're leaving when
exactly.
Rusev and Reigns goes on.
When you told me that, when you were texting me, when you told me that, I'm like, that if they did that, that would not make sense at all.
But at the same time, you had a grudge match versus a title match. And I was like, granted, this makes no sense. But if for whatever reason that logic prevails, that we can't have a grudge match go on before a title match, then for whatever reason, Roman Reigns, the guy who just recently failed a drug test, main evented SummerSlam.
Exact. I don't know. It's just the way. I don't know if they're trying to, if they're going to try to, uh, shove Roman Reigns down our throats again. Have him give him some cool down time after what happened, and then put him back into that main event.
Oh, he's definitely going back in the main event. But let me know there's something you just did which I really liked more than the whole Rusev versus Roman Reigns match, was that you ignored the fact that the main event in SummerSlam was actually by someone who failed the drug test.
That yeah. Well, it was funny because I was expecting something to happen at the end. I know that Goldberg and Brock Lesnar have been exchanging words to each other on social media and in interviews and stuff like that.
There was some very loud Goldberg chants. Did you hear them?
Yeah, I heard him on TV and everything, and
I
I
was
was
very surprised because
I,
I didn't think it was going to happen, but I was like, what if it does?
yeah, and I was expecting it to happen because why would you have Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton in the main event? And I understand the fact that Randy Orton got knocked out and everything, which he took that stiff elbow to the head, which you could see the connection to it.
Yeah,
And,
it's vicious. I saw it. I don't want to see it again.
yeah, and it's just one of those things. You're just like, oh, like something's got to happen at the end of it. Like, why would they put it there? And I was really expecting, like at the beginning, like early in the show, I told you I would love to see Goldberg in one last match against Brock Lesnar. And then once the car kept going and kept going, matches keep passing, and I realized that Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton were going to be in the main event. I really thought in my mindset that they were going to do something at the end. And once I started hearing like the crowd say, do the Goldberg chants and everything, I was really expecting Goldberg to come out. But
The
then,
audience was honestly really expecting Goldberg to come out.
yeah, and that I think they like I saw somebody comment about it also when when the match was still going and everything. There was a few people that were saying if if they don't have Goldberg come out at the end, they really missed a big opportunity and they ruined the show.
I personally don't think Goldberg is such a huge deal because he is relatively old, hasn't been active, and his whole character is him beating people.
Yeah.
There's no money in Goldberg losing. There's money in him winning, and you could have him beat Heath Slater. He doesn't have to beat your main guys? Where do you go from there? So I'm interested in seeing Goldberg come back. I don't know how you do it the right way. I don't know how you do it in a way where who I'm sure he overvalues himself, would feel like what you're offering me is worth my time.
I don't think I don't think it'll be wise to put Goldberg in multiple matches with different people. I think it would be better to have him build something with just Brock Lesnar himself. That's it.
Well,
And
I don't know. We'll see because the 2K video game has opened doors in the past. And I think the smart money is that we will see Goldberg again.
all right, okay? What'd you think about the main event overall?
I was very disappointed. I don't understand what happened. I don't understand what was supposed to happen, but it felt like the ending wasn't what it should have been.
And I agree with that. And I agree with a lot of people that said they felt like the last hour kind of dragged the show on.
It was weird.
And
It was a very weird show to be at live. You and I understand wrestling to a certain level, and I don't know and if you don't understand wrestling at that level, it's a weird show. It's a
yeah,
weird card. And if
yes,
you do understand pro wrestling, it's a weird card and it's a weird show.
yes. I don't know. Overall SummerSlam. We talked more about NXT Takeover than SummerSlam and stuff because I feel like NXT Takeover was a better show than SummerSlam itself.
It's a more fun show. I was excited to talk about NXT. I enjoyed it more. I'm more curious about what's going to happen in NXT. The WWE it's weird. It's confusing. It literally didn't make sense tonight from a lot of perspectives, and it doesn't make me want to watch Raw tomorrow. But I am more interested in finding out what happens in NXT.
Yes, but maybe Raw and SmackDown maybe they'll kind of shed some light on what they're trying to do. But you never know with them. They're just
Are you watching Raw tomorrow?
yes.
I do not plan on watching Raw,
Um,
but there's a chance I might go see it live because it's local and why not? I
why
went
not?
to NXT, I went to SummerSlam. If I can find cheap tickets for Raw, why not?
Go for it. Do
All right,
do a triple whammy.
I might, and I'll be like, I wish I could do that with something I actually was passionate about.
But yeah. So that was I guess our review of the whole thing. So like
I mean, we didn't really go into the match about Orton and Lesnar, so just so if anyone's nitpicky, they had a stiff brawl. Brock took him down. I guess he elbowed him in the top of his skull, cut him open.
well,
And,
there was also Lesnar threw Randy Orton from the crowd onto the table.
right, because he's
RKO,
monster beast.
and then there was an RKO on the other table.
Yeah, but you're talking about the pro wrestling spots. I'm talking about the maybe that was real MMA.
Oh yeah, the elbow really looked like knocked out Randy Orton, and blood was coming out of his forehead like a faucet, like water out
And
of a faucet.
it looked at one point that Lesnar hit Randy and he didn't expect it to be that hard. And he
Yeah,
tried to gesture something, and the next hit that Lesnar hit him was just as hard.
you're gonna get people coming and saying, yeah, he probably bladed or something. No,
Oh, that's hard way.
if you look at it, you can see the point of the elbow where it impacted his head, and you can see that same spot. He has a gash in his head, and that's what I'm saying is that when he had his head down, you could see the blood dripping, not dripping, but it was pouring out of his head like water out of a faucet, and it was just too crazy.
It's crazy. I don't like that. I think it actually, but it helps. It legitimizes. It helps legitimize pro wrestling. It is what it is. It's a performance, but things happen. Things happen. Things can happen by accident, or things can happen on purpose. But either way, they happen, and they usually add to the overall presentation and internal logic and universe world, whatever you want to call it, that is pro wrestling.
I mean, Brock Lesnar's not a traditional fighter, or a wrestler. He's just a fighter.
I like that because I was gonna say he's just a fighter.
Exactly, and we both agree with that. So, do we?
All right.
Speaking of agree, do you agree Brooklyn NXT Brooklyn better than SummerSlam?
Yes, definitely. I thumbs up for NXT Brooklyn. If you don't have the WWE Network, it's worth $10 to subscribe, and if you haven't done so prior, you get that first month free, so it's worth it. SummerSlam not worth your time overall.
Except for the AJ Styles and John Cena match, you gotta watch that one.
Definitely the one match to watch. Anything else, pick and choose depending on whatever sources you respect when it comes to their opinions. But definitely the one to see is AJ Styles versus John Cena. If you have time, see the new Universal Champion until they go edit it, which will be very crazy to look at this stuff like 2 or 3 days from now when they make it seem like everyone loved everything and this is the best show ever. Because I can't
Look
see
at the
the
look at the
original
match.
audio lasting.
Look at the match. Just don't pay attention to the belt.
Exactly, or just love it.
Yeah.
And when I was live in the crowd, I was screaming, "It's actually all of our fault for not loving the belt." and I got some people that were like, "This guy's right. We're wrong.
They're like, this guy over here.
This guy knows what it's like." And I felt like if Stephanie or Triple H or Vince or someone who could change my life drastically had heard that, they'd be like, "I like that guy. Let's go get that guy."
That guy's going places.
That guy's
We
going
need that
places.
guy. We need that guy here. He needs to take us places.
Yeah, so ultimately that is my goal. If anyone knows how I can just sell out, uh, let me know. Hit me up, Long Island Josh on Twitter. So hit me up with like, hey, let me make you some money in a legal way, and I'll probably respond.
Probably.
Probably.
He only responds to porn sites and all that.
Well, it's just the advertising is just so convincible. So WWE, step your game up because I'm not subscribing to your website.
But Pornhub.com, he's all there.
I'm here to save the world. What's Dolph Ziggler's ultimate theme that he's gonna have his own movie or endorsement deal when he goes on the Indies?
I forgot what it was, but apparently he's the colonel now. So.
Oh, little chicken. That's not gonna help his porn days.
But I think that was pretty good for the podcast and everything. So that was good to hear two perspectives of one person seeing on TV and the other one being in the crowd. So
Yeah, I enjoyed myself. I had fun. I like this. If you're not subscribed to the network, subscribe to this. What's the subscribe link?
the WWE.com.
I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about us.
Oh, the gaming.
Yeah, throw some plugs out.
Yeah. The Misfit Society Gaming. We're currently doing like other games and everything, but I think we started wanting to do something like this with a whole podcast and everything to see review on some other things that I mean it might not be just like wrestling related. I mean there's gonna be a lot of wrestling related, but
No, but like, let me know what you like. Let me, I'm into things. I'm sure you're into things too.
yes.
So, Red, you tell me what you're up to. Other people on the Misfit channel can tell me what they're up to. Hopefully, the fans they'll tell me what they like, what they don't like, and if I don't know if I'm not familiar with what you like, but someone else is, or you send an email to someone else who doesn't know, but I do. Well, let's communicate. I'm willing to
Okay.
do more of these shows about different subjects, and let me know what the viewers want to know. You viewers, let me know what you want to know, and we'll do our best to make you happy.
All right. What about we do next one? CM Punk, UFC 203.
Oh, a very broad topic. I would love to get Corey on that, maybe even Steve and anyone else who you think from our community that would have some insight into that. That could be a very fun one.
Yes, we'll do that, and then yeah, we'll just do all this next time. So.
All right, guys, take it easy.